So, where were we? We're beginning chapter 24. I'm just sitting here, look, see? I'm just sitting here out on the porch because I get better internet connection out here. Chapter 24. There it is. Okay, the subterranean heavenly planets. This chapter describes the planet Rahu, which is 10,000 yojanas, 80,000 miles below the sun. And it also describes Atal, the other lower planetary systems. Rahu is situated below the sun and moon, and it is between these two planets and the earth. When Rahu conceals the sun and moon, eclipses occur, either total or partial, depending on whether Rahu moves in a straight or curving way. Below Rahu, by another 1 million yojanas, 1 million yojanas, are the planets of the Siddhas, Charanas, and Vidyadharas. And below these are planets such as Yakshalok and Rakshalok. Below these planets is the Earth, and 70,000 yojanas below the Earth are the lower planetary systems, Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, and Patal. Demons and Rakshasas live in these lower planetary systems with their wives and children, always engaged in sense gratification and not fearing their next births. The sunshine does not reach these planets, but they are illuminated by jewels fixed upon the hoods of snakes. Because of these shining gems, there's practically no darkness. Those living in these planets do not become old or diseased. They are not afraid of death from any cause but the time factor, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I'm trying to get it clear. Whatever. I have a cheap phone. In the planet Atal, the yawning of a demon has produced 3 kinds of women, called Swairini, independent, Kamini, lusty, and Pungshali, very easily subdued by men. Below Atal is the planet Vital, wherein Lord Shiva and his wife Gauri reside. Because of their presence, a kind of gold is produced called Hataka. Below Vitala is the planet Sutala, the abode of Bali Maharaj, the most fortunate king. Bali Maharaj was favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vamandev because of his intense devotional service. The Lord went to the sacrificial arena of Bali Maharaj and begged him for 3 pieces of land. And on this plea, the Lord took from him all his possessions. When Bali Maharaj agreed to all this, the Lord was very pleased, and therefore the Lord serves as his doorkeeper. The description of Bali Maharaj appears in the 8th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead offers a devotee material happiness, this is not his real favor. The demigods, who are very puffed up by their material opulence, pray to the Lord only for material happiness, not knowing anything better. Devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, however, do not want material happiness. Not to speak of material happiness, they do not even want liberation from material bondage, although one can achieve this liberation simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, even with improper pronunciation. Below Sutala is the planet Talatal, the abode of the demon Maya. This demon is always materially happy because he is favored by Lord Shiva, but he cannot achieve spiritual happiness at any time. Below Talatala is the planet Mahatal, where there are many snakes with hundreds and thousands of hoods. Below Mahatal is Rasatal, and below that is Patal, where the serpent Vasuki lives with his associates. Text 1. Shri Shuka Uvacha Adastat Savitur Yojanat Yute Swarbhanur Nakshatravach Charatityeke Yo Sav Amaratvam Grahatvam chalabhata bhagavad anukampaya swayam asura pasada samhikeo hyatar arhastasya tata janma karmani cho parishtar vakshyama. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, "My dear king, some historians, the speakers of the Puranas, say that 10,000 yojanas, 1 second, oh God, sorry, 80,000 miles below the sun is a planet known as Rahu, which moves like one of the stars. The presiding deity of that planet, who is the son of Singhika, is the most abominable of all asuras. But although he the position of a demigod or planetary deity, he is the supreme." No, I'm going to keep on sneezing. I know when this happens. Sorry, guys, you're going to just have to tolerate that for a little while. Okay. He has achieved that position by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Later, I shall speak further. I shall speak further about him. God dang it. Okay. Text 2. Oh, God. I need to get a better phone. Come on, come into focus. There. Okay. There. Okay, I got to go close. That's the trick. Yadadas taraner mandalam pratapatas tad vistarato yojana yutam achakshate dvadasha sahasram somasya trayodasha sahasram rahorya pavanani tad vyavadhana kred vairanubandha surya chandra masav abhidhavati. Oh, God. Anyways, I'm just going to read it from the book, and you can kind of tell what I'm reading. The sun globe, which is a source of heat, extends for 10,000 yojanas, 80,000 miles. The moon extends for 20,000 yojanas, 160,000 miles. And Rahu extends for 30,000 yojanas, 240,000 miles. Is this annoying seeing it so blurry like this? Can't get it to focus. Formerly, when nectar was being distributed, Rahu tried to create dissension between the sun and moon by interposing himself between them. Rahu is inimical toward both the sun and the moon, and therefore he always tries to cover the sunshine and moonshine on the dark moon day and full moon night. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Come on, just focus, phone. You can do it. There. As stated herein, the sun extends for 10,000 yojanas, and the moon extends for twice that, or 20,000 yojanas. The word dvadasha should be understood to mean twice as much as 10 or 20. The opinion of Vijayadvaj, in the opinion of Vijayadvaj, the extent of Rahu should be twice that of the moon, or 40,000 yojanas. However, to reconcile this apparent contradiction to the text of the Bhagavatam, Vijayadvaja recites the following quotation concerning Rahu. Rahu Soma Ravinam tu Mandala Dvi Gunoktitvam. This means that Rahu is twice as large as the moon, which is twice as large as the sun. This is the conclusion of the commentator Vijayadvaj. Text 3. Tan nisham yo bhayatrapi bhagavata rakshanaya pratyuktam sudarshanam nama bhagavatam daitam astram tatejasa durvishaham muhu parivartamanam abhyavastito muhurtam udvijamana chakita hridaya arad eva nivartate tar uparagam iti vadanti loka. After hearing from the sun and moon, demigods about Rahu's attack, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, engages his disc, known as the Sudarsan Chakra, to protect them. The Sudarsan Chakra is the Lord's most beloved devotee and is favored by the Lord. The intense heat of its effulgence, meant for killing non-Vaishnavas, is unbearable to Rahu, and he therefore flees in fear of it. During the time Rahu disturbs the sun or moon, there occurs what people commonly known as an eclipse. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu is always the protector of his devotees, who are also known as demigods. The controlling demigods are most obedient to Lord Vishnu, although they also want material sense enjoyment, and that is why they are called demigods, are almost godly. Although Rahu attempts to attack both the sun and the moon, they are protected by Lord Vishnu. Being very afraid of Lord Vishnu's chakra, Rahu cannot stay in front of the sun or moon for more than a muhurta, more than 48 minutes. But there are eclipses that are longer than 48 minutes, right? Anyways, the phenomenon that occurs when Rahu blocks the light of the sun or moon is called an eclipse. The attempt of the scientists of this earth to go to the moon is as demoniac as Rahu's attack. Of course, their attempts will be failures because no one can enter the moon or sun so easily. Like the attack of Rahu, such attempts will certainly be failures. Text 4. Tato dastat siddha charana vidya dharanam sadanani tavan matra eva. Below Rahu by 10,000 yojanas, 80,000 miles, are the planets known as Siddhaloka, Charanaloka, and Vidyadharaloka. Purport. It is said that the residents of Siddhaloka, being naturally endowed with the powers of yogis, can go from one planet to another by their natural mystic powers without using airplanes or similar machines. Text 5. Tato dhastad yaksha raksha pishacha preta bhuta gananam vihara jiram antariksham yavar vayu pravati yavan megha upalabhyante. Beneath Vidyadharaloka, Charanaloka, and Siddhaloka, in the sky called Antariksha, are the places of enjoyment for the yakshas, rakshasas, pishachas, ghosts, and so on. Antariksha extends as far as the wind blows, and the clouds float in the sky. Above this, there is no more air. Text 6. Tato dastat shata yojanantara iyam prithvi yavad dhangsa bhasha shena suparnadaya patatri pravara utpatantiti. Sorry. Below the abodes of the yakshas and rakshasas by a distance of 100 yojanas, 800 miles, is the planet Earth. Its upper limits extend as high as swans, hawks, eagles, and similar large birds can fly. "800 miles, that's not very... that's not very far below. Upavarnitam bhumer yata saniveshavastanam avaner apyadhastat sapta bhu vivara ekarkasho yojana yutantarenayama vistareno paklipta atalam vitalam sutalam talatalam mahatalam rasatalam patalam iti. My dear king, beneath this earth are 7 other planets known as Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, and Patal. I have already explained the situation of the planetary systems of the earth. The width and length of the 7 lower planetary systems are calculated to be exactly the same as those of Earth. Text 8. Eteshu hi bila swargeshu swargad apyadika kama bhogaishwaryananda bhuti vibhuti vi susamrida bhavanodhyana krida vihareshu daita danava kadraveya nitya pramuditanurakta kalatrapatya bandhu suhrid anuchara griha pataya ishvarad apya pratihata kama maya vinoda nivasanti. In these 7 planetary systems, which are known as the subterranean heavens, Vilaswarga, there are very beautiful horses, gardens, and places of sense enjoyment, which are even more opulent than those in the higher planets, because the demons have a very high standard of sensual pleasure, wealth, and influence. Wow! More enjoyment in the lower planets than even in the higher planets. Most of the residents of these planets, who are known as Daitas, Danavas, and Nagas, live as householders. Their wives, children, friends, and society are all fully engaged in illusory material happiness. The sense enjoyment of the demigods is somewhat disturbed, but the residents of these planets enjoy life without disturbances. Thus, they are understood to be very attached to illusory happiness. Wow, so if you want to enjoy, don't go to heaven, go to hell. Well, this isn't hell, this is a subterranean heavenly planets. Yeah. So go to the subterranean heavenly planets. Purport. According to the statements of Prahlad Maharaj, material enjoyment is Maya Sukha, illusory enjoyment. A Vaishnava is full of anxieties for the deliverance of all living entities from such false enjoyment. Prahlad Maharaj says, Maya Sukhaya Bharam Udvahato Vimudan. These fools, these Vimudas, are engaged in material happiness, which is surely temporary. Whether in the heavenly planets, the lower planets, or the earthly planets, people are engrossed in temporary material happiness. That seems to make it work. There, okay. So people are engrossed in temporary material happiness, forgetting that in due course of time, they have to change their bodies according to the material laws and suffer the repetition of birth, death, old age, and disease. Not caring what will happen in the next birth, gross materialists are simply busy enjoying during the present short span of life. A Vaishnava is always anxious to give all such bewildered materialists the real happiness of spiritual bliss. Yeshu Maharaj Mayena Mayavina Vinirmita Puro Nana Mani Pravara Praveka Virachita Vichitra Bhavana Prakara Gopura Sabha Chaita Chatvarayatana Nagasura Mithuna Paravata Shuka Sarika Kirna Kritrima Bhumibir Vivareshvara Grihottamai Samalankritash Chakasati. My dear king, in the imitation heavens known as Bilaswarga, there is a great demon named Maya Danava, who is an expert artist and architect. He has constructed many brilliantly decorated cities. There are many wonderful houses, walls, gates, assembly houses, temples, yards, and temple compounds, as well as many hotels serving as residential quarters for foreigners. The houses for the leaders of these planets are constructed with the most valuable jewels, and they are always crowded with living entities known as Nagas and Asuras, as well as many pigeons, parrots, and similar birds. All in all, these imitation heavenly cities are most beautifully situated and attractively decorated. Udyanani Chatitaram Mana Indriyanadibhi Kusuma Anandibhi. Yeah, I read that. Anandibhi. Oh God. Indriyanandibhi Kusuma Phala Stavaka Subhaga Kisalaya Vanata Ruchira Vatapa Vitapinam Latangalingitanam Shibhir Simituna Vividha Vihangama Jalashayanam Amala Jala Purnanam Jasha Kula Langhana Shubhita Nira Niraja Kumuda Kuvalaya Kahlara Nilotpala Lohita Shatapatradi Vaneshu Krita Niketananam Eka Vihara Kula Madhura Vividha Swanadibir Indriyotsavar Amara Loka Shriyam Ati Shaitani. The parks and gardens in the artificial heavens surpass in beauty those of the upper heavenly planets. The trees in those gardens, embraced by creepers, bend with a heavy burden of twigs with fruits and flowers, and therefore they appear extraordinarily beautiful. That beauty could attract anyone and make his mind fully blossom in the pleasure of sense gratification. There are many lakes and reservoirs with clear, transparent water, agitated by jumping fish, and decorated with many flowers such as lilies, kuvalayas, kallaras, and blue and red lotuses. Pairs of chakravakas and many other water birds nest in the lakes and always enjoy in a happy mood, making sweet, pleasing vibrations that are very satisfying and conducive to enjoyment of the senses. Yatra havava nabhayam aho ratradibhi kala vibhagar upalakshate. Since there is no sunshine in those subterranean planets, time is not divided into days and nights, and consequently, fear produced by time does not exist. That's neat. Yatra hi mahahi pravara shiro manaya sarvam tama prabhadante. I'd love if there was no days and nights. It's like one long thing. Actually, I don't know about that. Many great serpents reside there with gems on their hoods, and the effulgence of these gems dissipates the darkness in all directions. Nava eteshu vasatam divyoshadi rasa rasayanana pana snanadibhir adhayo vyadhayo valita jaradayash chadeha vaivarnya dorgandhya sweda klama glanir iti vayo vastash cha bhavanti. My God, if their gems are that bright, that must be over, like, hurt your eyes if you come near them. Since the residents of these planets drink and bathe in juices and elixirs made from wonderful herbs, they are freed from all anxieties and physical diseases. They have no experience of gray hair, wrinkles, or invalidity. Their bodily lusters do not fade. Their perspiration does not cause a bad smell, and they are not troubled by fatigue or by lack of energy or enthusiasm due to old age. Nahitesham kalyananam prabhavanti kutashchana mrityur vina bhagavat tejasash chakra padeshat. Oh my God. They live very auspiciously and do not fear death from anything but death established time, which is the effulgence of the Sudarsan Chakra of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Wow, so there's no murder or no bad things like that, no disease. This is the defect of purports. This is the defect of material existence. Everything in the subterranean heavens is very nicely arranged. There are well-situated residential quarters. There is a pleasing atmosphere, and there are no bodily inconveniences or mental anxieties. But nevertheless, those who live there have to take another birth according to karma. Persons whose minds are dull cannot understand this defect of a materialistic civilization aiming at material comforts. One may make his living conditions very pleasing for the senses, but despite all favorable conditions, one must in due course of time meet death. The members of a demoniac civilization endeavor to make their living conditions very comfortable, but they cannot check death. The influence of the Sudarsan Chakra will not allow their so-called material happiness to endure. Yasmin pravrishte suravadhunam praya pungsavanani bhayad eva sravanti patanti cha. When the Sudarshan disc enters those provinces, the pregnant wives of the demons all have miscarriages due to fear of its effulgence. Yikes. What verse am I reading up to? 1 second, let me just check. Shoot, I can't tell here. 1 second, I'm just looking up here. 17. Okay, I'm ending with this verse. All right. No, I'm ending with the next one. Okay. Oh God, 1 second, I messed up something. There. Okay. Come on, phone. Stop being stupid. Whatever. Half of my screen is blocked. Okay. Atatale maya putra suro balo nivasati yena hava iha shishta sanavatir maya kaschanadyapi mayavina dharayanti yasya cha drimbhanasya mukhatas-traya strigana udapadyanta swayrinya kaminya pungschalya iti ya vai bilayanam pravishtam purusham rasena hatakakena sadhaitva svavilasavalokanuraga. Did I read that right? Lokanuraga? Yeah, I did. Smita samla popaguhanadibhi swairam kila ramayanti yasmin upayukte purusha ishvaraham siddhaham ityayuta mahagaja balam atmanam abhimanyamana katate madanda iva. My dear king, I shall now describe to you the lower planetary systems one by one, beginning from Atal. In Atal, there is a demon, the son of Maya Danava named Bala, who created 96 kinds of mystic power. Some so-called yogis and swamis take advantage of this mystic power to cheat people even today. Simply by yawning, the demon Bala created 3 kinds of women, known as Swairini, Kamini, and Pungschali. The Swairinis like to marry men from their own group. The Kaminis marry men from any group, and the Pungschali's change husbands one after another. If a man enters the planet of Atala, these women immediately capture him and induce him to drink an intoxicating beverage made with a drug known as Hataka, cannabis indica. This intoxicant endows the man with great sexual prowess, of which the women take advantage for enjoyment. A woman will enchant him with attractive glances, intimate words, smiles of love, and then embraces. In this way, she induces him to enjoy sex with her to her full satisfaction. Because of his increased sexual power, the man thinks himself stronger than 10,000 elephants and considers himself most perfect. Indeed, illusioned and intoxicated by false pride, he thinks himself God, ignoring impending death. Well, I think it's good that it's the other way around for once. Where? Anyways, never mind. It's not going there. Tato dhastad vitale haro bhagavan hata keshwara swaparshada bhuta ganavritta prajapati sargopa brimhanaya bhavo bhavanya saha mithuni bhuta aste yata pravritta sarit pravara hataki nama bhavayor viryena yatra chitra bhanur matar ishvana samidhamana ojasa pibati tan nishtyutam hatakakyam svarnam bhushanenanus asurendravanarodeshu purusha saha purushibir dharayanti. Okay, we're ending with this verse. The next planet below Atal is Vital, wherein Lord Shiva, who is known as the master of gold mines, lives with his personal associates, the ghosts and similar living entities. Lord Shiva, as the progenitor, engages in sex with Bhavani, the progenitress, to produce living entities, and from the mixture of their vital fluid, the river named Hataki is generated. When fire being made to blaze by the wind drinks of when fire being made to blaze by the wind drinks of this river and then sizzles and spits it out, it produces gold called Hataka. This is so fascinating. The demons who live on that planet with their wives decorate themselves with various ornaments made from that gold, and thus they live there very happily. Purport. It appears that when Bhava and Bhavani, Lord Shiva and his wife, unite sexually, the emulsification of their secretions creates a chemical which, when heated by fire, can produce gold. It is said that the alchemists of the medieval age tried to prepare gold from base metal. And Srila Sanatana Goswami also states that when bell metal is treated with mercury, it can produce gold. Srila Sanatana Goswami mentions this in regard to the initiation of low-class men to turn them into Brahmins. Sanatana Goswami said, Yata kanchanatam yati kangsyam rasa vidhanata tata diksha vidhanena dvijatvam jayate nrinam. As one can transform kangsa or bell metal into gold by treating it with mercury, one can also turn a low-born man into a Brahmin by initiating him properly into Vaishnava activities. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness is trying to turn Malechas and Yavanas into real Brahmins by properly initiating them and stopping them from engaging in meat-eating, intoxication, illicit sex, and gambling. One who stops these four principles of sinful activity and chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra can certainly become a pure Brahmin through the process of bona fide initiation, as suggested by Srila Sanatana Goswami. Apart from this, if one takes a hint from this verse and learns how to mix mercury with bell metal by properly heating and melting them, one can get gold very cheaply. The alchemists of the medieval age tried to manufacture gold, but they were unsuccessful, perhaps because they did not follow the right instructions. All right, so tomorrow we're going to read, I think, about Bali Maharaj. Let's see. Below the planet Vitala is another planet known as Sutala, where the great son of Maharaj Virochana, Bali Maharaj, who is celebrated as the most pious king, resides, even now. So we'll read about, Bali Maharaj and other lower planets. And then we'll read about the glories of Ananta. And then finally, the most exciting part, the hellish planets. I used to go there when I was younger, just to read the hellish planets. It was so cool. All right, here's a darshan of Navadip Dham. Sing Mahamantra now. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatara Shatashmad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudev Ki Jai Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatara Shatashmad Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatara Shatashmad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatara Shatashmad Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashatara Shatashmad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitil Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gokshadas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. I can't move the camera back. Nitil Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nitil Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Dashaguna Shar Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gopasha Vrinda Ki Jai Namachai Shri Hari Das Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaur Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund Ki Jai Shri Muna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Raghunandan Thakur Ki Jai Tadiya Shubha Tirubhav Titi Ki Jai Shri what is it? Vamsi Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Tadiya Shubha Tirubhav Titi Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Ki Jai Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashita Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vansha Kalpaturu Vyashta Kripa Sindhu Vyaya. Anyways, all right. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Haribol. Oh, wait. Let me look at the comments really quick. Sorry, I can't move the camera backwards, so it just has to stay like that. You can't see my face. But I'm just seeing if there are any. Shoot. It's too difficult to do on my phone right now. Oh no, there's chat. All right. Haribol. Dandavat pranams. Oops. Okay. Haribol. Okay, I'm ending the video now. Oh, freaking hell.